going on, guys? So it sounds like you're having this really annoying problem where you cannot save the page that you've been working on for a while now. You keep getting this server error. You've already checked your server space. Number two, make sure you haven't installed any new plugins that are conflicting with Elementor. If you haven't installed anything in a while or done any updates, or other pages save successfully and it's just this one pesky page, this might be the solution for you. There are tutorials out there by Elementor. Here's an article for them where they just tell you to make the page a template and then save that and then import that template on a new page, and then essentially you just need to change URLs and stuff. This works, and if this works for you, or if you duplicate the page and then you are able to save, this solution is going to help you. Essentially, what's happening here is that, or it used to happen for me on this page. And essentially, what we did is, you can see here, there is history files that Elementor creates, which are very helpful when you need them. But when you don't need them, they actually muddy up. They make the file really big. And from my understanding, and I didn't build Elementor, so I don't know if this is totally true, but each of these get saved as a JSON file. So it's a bunch of technical data that Elementor saves, and these all take up quite a bit of space. Essentially, when you have a page that has had a lot of revisions, these start to add up and the file gets really big, and then essentially it just like times out when trying to save because it can't parse all that data. Again, from my understanding, that might be not technically correct, but I know that the solution does work. So what we're going to be doing is actually going into your hosting account and disabling the frequency of the autosaves, and number two, limiting them to, well, in this case, 10. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to be doing this on SiteGround. Again, SiteGround's a host that we use. We have an affiliate link in the description. Hosting's pretty cheap to start out with. This should work on any host. And so what you're going to need to use is actually phpMyAdmin to do this. And I'm going to give you the exact things that you need to type. So here we are on SiteGround. Again, this is your hosting account. Go into your hosting account, and then you're going to need to access your phpMyAdmin. So I can actually go into MySQL. And so SQL are databases that Elementor uses. It's how Elementor is built, essentially. And so I'm going to need to access phpMyAdmin. But if you have a view like this on your host, one thing you're going to want to note right here is manage database. So this right here is going to be the primary database. And it's going to be important to know what that is. So just note what the name of the primary database is. You will be able to see this in phpMyAdmin as well, but just note what that is if it is right here. I'm going to go to phpMyAdmin, and then I'm just going to click access phpMyAdmin. Now here we are. This is an archaic phpMyAdmin. This is what they always look like. They can be confusing, but let's make them not confusing. So first things first, over here on the left, this is our database that we're going to be working in, that database that we saw before. It should be something along these lines. There's always going to be one major database. That's the name of your database, and then you're just going to need to know what that name is, and you should be able to find it there. Again, make sure you have this database name, and then what you're going to want to do is open up the config within that database folder. So usually, if you've seen it online, it's wp-config. My host actually rewrites. It has a different prefix on it, so this OFQ here, and that is really important to note as well. OFQ is the prefix to my databases in WordPress. Now, again, this seems technical. All you're looking at is the names of things right now. It's always going to be prefix underscore content. So WP underscore content, mine's OFQ underscore content. All you need to know. So when you are in the phpMyAdmin, you are going to click on SQL here once you have the database selected that we are working in, and then you know the prefix. So I see the prefix is here. I'm going to click on SQL. Next, what you're going to do is copy and paste in this. So we pasted this in the SQL, but we actually need to change these values for you. First of all, this is going to be select count as revision. So basically, we're seeing how many revisions are saved for that specific page that you were having the problem saving. So I'm going to go back to my page here, and you can actually see in the URL here, there is a number within your URL, and you're going to want to note that number because that is what we use in that SQL query. So mine is 397. So I'm going to go and copy that. And then here we make sure instead of 395, which is the post parent, we're going to change that to 397, or again, whatever number is listed in the URL on the page that you are attempting to publish. There should be a number here after post equals and a number. Copy that number. Again, we are pasting that into the SQL query, and then we are going to click go. What that's going to do is just tell you how many revisions. I've already limited this. I think when I did this previously for the page that I was fixing and before I made the global change, I had like over 300, hence the issue going on. So we limited that to 10. So now we know that there's 10 revisions. This is just letting you know, this is just giving you information on how many revisions there are. Then what we're going to do is actually clear the old revisions. Again, make sure your website is in a space where you don't necessarily need these revisions. Maybe you're past that point. I didn't really care at this point either. I was like, I'll redevelop whatever because I don't want to rebuild this page. I don't have to go change a bunch of URLs. So I just cleared all the revisions. So what we're going to do is copy, or we're going to paste something new into that SQL query. So what we're going to do is go back. I'm going to click show query box, delete what I queried before, then we're going to paste in something new. Again, what I pasted in, we are looking at the post meta, and then we're looking at the post. Make sure we change that number to the number that we had previously talked about, and then we are going to click go on that. There we go, 70 rows deleted. So we deleted 70 rows already. And now we've cleared all the revisions from that page within your database. And so what we're going to do now is go and limit these autosaves to 10 and change the autosave limit. Now we're actually not going to do this in the phpMyAdmin. I'm going to do this in my site tools where I can actually manage the files for my website. What we're going to be editing is the wp-config file and just add a small line in there. So here I'm going to navigate back over to site tools, go into file manager, and then we are going to look for wp-config in here. So that should be within your main public HTML folder. So I'm just going to double click that. It will open up your wp-config file, and then scroll down to the end of the file and look for that's all, stop editing, happy publishing. And then essentially what we're going to do is just paste in these simple lines. So WP post revisions, again, limiting to 10. And then the autosave interval, we are increasing to 120 seconds. So just slows that autosave and then simply save that file. And that's it. So once you've done these, go back and try to save that page. Again, this saved my 500 error. It helped me from having to rebuild the entire page, which I didn't want to do. And now I am able to edit in Elementor freely again. You didn't have to duplicate the page, didn't have to relink anything. Again, we are just basically limiting these revisions to 10. And so old ones just automatically get purged. Hopefully that helped you. If that did help you, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. Helps me out more than you guys know. Again, affiliate hosting through SiteGround in the description. Please check out my other videos if you're ever looking how to do modern things. I make tutorials for fun new interactive elements, GSAP stuff. If you ever have any questions or anything that you want to see that you can't find on YouTube already, comment it down below, and I'll make a tutorial to help you guys learn some cool stuff in Elementor. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day. Peace.